They didn't have any school.
Oh, good day, my dear friends. It's so good that you're with us for this NAREB Money Minute. As you know, in this minute, sponsored by CFS Realty, the National Association of Real Estate Brokers is a very unique organization serving minority professionals since 1947. And to that extent, we bring you many of the best in the business as far as minority professionals are concerned. Today is no exception. I have let me say, now some people say, how do you know? But I'm going to tell you, we have a wonderful, talented, charismatic young lady on the program today, like none others that we've seen before. And we've seen some good ones. And today, the young lady that I'm going to introduce you to you as part of this entrepreneurial experience and with real estate and all the many facets that she engages in, and I'm sure she'll share all that with you, is a desire to build financial independence, to build wealth, to set an example for people in our community to do the same. And if you are a part of our audience today and you would like to speak directly to this young lady, I'm sure she can schedule later at the times that will work for you and her for individual consults. And if you call, we'll send you a special gift about your personal finances. And we want you to be able to benefit from all these programs that we do for real estate and the other opportunities that exist. And without any further ado, I welcome the awesome, inimitable, unbelievable Brit Johnson.
Hi, how are you?
It's good. It's all yours there. The audience is waiting to hear all the things that you have to share. So from the top, tell us a little bit about you and how you got involved as an entrepreneur and the things that you do out as part of that process.
Yeah, so first, thank you, Mr. Phipps, for having me on. I'm excited to get a chance to really talk with you. I don't wear too many hats, but one thing you mentioned while we were offline is serial entrepreneur, which I am. I've been through a variety of different multi marketing level businesses: Mary Kay, Avon, life insurance, gold bars, carrot bars, all these different things.
So you've had your training to be good.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Been through a lot of them. And one thing I can honestly say is anyone out there who's interested in running their own business, they are entrepreneurs. And I'm sure that they've always kind of had this passion, even potentially as a young person, right? Remember, like back in the day, some kids would sell candy at school. Yeah. So that spirit just exists inside of you. And I encourage people to really follow that. So that's where I am in terms of being an entrepreneur. I've been self-employed now for over 7 years, or I hit my 10 year as far as doing Boss Lady News. And I know that I left corporate world to follow my dreams with Boss Lady News, which actually also led me into real estate. Yeah. Yes.
The bug bit you. Real estate.
The bug bit me. It did. And I never let real estate lead my conversations with people. It really is the Boss Lady News, and it's bringing awareness to our businesses out there, to our nonprofits out there, to our events and things that are going on. But how are we going to have real estate if we don't have financial education, right?
Yes.
And even as a business owner, it's important to know about finances because you have to run a business. So all of this kind of whirls in together in one big system that we're part of. And financial education stems at the beginning of it, stems at the root of it. And the only way that you can have a successful business is through having financial education. And the only way that you can have a successful real estate portfolio is through financial education, knowing how to balance and leverage all of the equity and opportunities.
So guy, there you have it. That's it in a nutshell, but there's much more to come. So now, Brit, now I know you mentioned you're a staunch advocate for financial literacy, financial education, so to speak. And financial
Yes.
literacy is part of that process. But now, what would you say to individuals, since we're talking about entrepreneurship? I heard you say earlier that they should follow their dreams.
Yeah.
Would you say that their dreams would include a vision of what they want to do or accomplish, and a timeline for doing so? And if that's the case, how would they find the resources or support necessary to be able to make that leap of faith?
For sure. Yeah. So I do believe that everyone should set a goal, right? There should be a goal, there should be a vision. And for some people, having a timeline at least allows them to hold themselves accountable.
Mm.
You don't always hit that specific timeline, but really setting a goal has to do with knowing that you're going to get certain things done within a certain amount of time to achieve and succeed making it to that goal. So that is very important, knowing that you have a plan and following that plan. And it's important in business, in real estate, in financial education, in life, to be willing to take on a mentor. And I can say that throughout my retail career, I was one of the top sellers because I was fine with shadowing and learning and getting to understand the product or whatever service that I am selling. So it's important to be comfortable with going out to someone who's already doing what you're doing or what you want to do and ask them, hey, can I take you out to lunch? I would like to know more. I'd like to pick your brain. I'd like to ask some questions. Can I get onto your calendar? I'm really looking for a mentor. And firsthand, I can tell you that people that know it comfortably are excited to share the knowledge.
True. Frequently, people are, and yes, we've had questions over time, both on air and off air, where people are just afraid to ask, fearing that they will be rejected or the person is too busy to be able to give them some time. How would you suggest that individuals overcome that obstacle where they're seeing somebody as too busy or too important or too whatever to be able to give them the time they need to be able to learn whatever that skill set, knowledge base is that they need to have?
Right. You never know. That is the best advice. It's a 50-50 chance. If you don't ask, say nothing, don't say that I'm looking to have a mentor or ask that person to be your mentor, you're never going to get it. However, if you ask, if you schedule, if you reach out, there's always that possibility that you're going to get that yes. And all you need is one yes from a great mentor to be able to help you thrive through your business and through your goals. So don't be afraid, right? Don't let your fear stop you from your success. I say this all the time. Don't be afraid to ask that mentor, ask that person if they're willing to, because it's just a matter of putting some time aside, and people are always willing to do that. Again, once they are so well versed in a topic, in an industry, people are a plethora of knowledge and they want to share that knowledge.
Now, interestingly enough, you mentioned the sharing of knowledge. Oftentimes, individuals will say, well, I have the knowledge, but I don't know what to do with it. I'm not sure how to convey it. I'm not sure how to be. One of the things I hear people say is, so he or she is so persuasive. Nobody says no to them. And everybody says no to me. Well, or they'll say, well, I know how to get in the door. It's what do I say once I get in the door? His or her words roll off so smoothly. I want to be like that. Say, how would you address that those objections.
Right. So what I can attest to
Yeah,
is feeling as if I don't know what to say,
yeah,
right? Having the knowledge, having the 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 cunning to
yeah.
get into rooms, and then it's like, what do I do from here? You just be yourself. That is the best thing. You be yourself, because people will gravitate towards you that can relate to you. So your natural instincts, your natural conversation, your natural self is what is really going to allow people to open up and start conversations and have conversations with you. So yes, you have the knowledge, you might have the mentorship, then it's just the confidence to
Mm.
be yourself.
I am so impressed. I couldn't put it any clearer myself, because a lot of times when I talk to folks, even the program, I say, listen, just be yourself. You be your most authentic self, because that's what people can buy or will buy. And they know when you're faking it, and you can't fake it till you make in this particular case, because, you know, it requires a certain level of confidence and understanding of the people that you're presenting to be able to connect to them. And if you can't connect to them, no, they don't trust you, and more than likely, I mean, you don't trust them to share yourself, and they're more than likely will not trust you to share their dollars with you. So you got to be
A-
authentic. I'm so impressed that you were able to articulate that so well. Now,
Absolutely.
go ahead. You were saying?
No, it's so true. And it's funny because, oftentimes people will say, oh, I don't like the fast talkers. But people that move quick in business want to hear it. Like they just, let's get to the point. What is the product? What is the service? Like, get to the point. I need you to fast talk. And
Yes.
then people who are, more debating
You're right.
about agreeing to something, they need someone who's going to have a couple, conversations and educate them on what it is that you're trying to get them to engage with you about, or to purchase from you. So if you're not your authentic self, you're not going to find the right client, and it's going to be so much more difficult. And then, sometimes people tend to give up, or they fall back from a business that they could do really well at.
You know, a lot of the old school professionals talked about mirroring in the sales arena. If somebody crossed the hands, you crossed your hands, and if somebody, propped the chin, you propped the chin. You know, it's so funny when you talk to individuals in the arena in this day and age. The perspective, the performance is quite different in many ways. Now,
Right.
you mentioned earlier that it was your Boss Lady News that brought you into real estate. I want us to, if you can, we can talk about that transition for a little bit to see how that transitioned or morphed into real estate, because the world of business is very broad. And when you're providing information on a broad base for entrepreneurs, to be able to transition to the area of real estate is something that I'd like to explore very interestingly.
Yeah, for sure. So even getting into Boss Lady News was kind of a godsend. I like to tell people that I was walking past the building, and an angel whispered in my ear, go in there. So I walked in and, found out about becoming a content creator and producer. And as I was getting a chance to meet different people and communicate with them and find out about them and provide a platform for, us to tell our stories about our businesses and our nonprofits and meet our talented people in the community, I got a chance to have more passions, more desires than I did before. And
Mhm.
I think that because of knowing more people based off of the media production, I started to become interested in what are some things that I've never known about, right? I've never known about real estate, owning my own real estate. At that time, I was young and I had been renting, and that's all I knew. That's all I understood.
Yeah.
And when it comes to real estate, and why I talk so much about the financial education piece, is for a lot of people whose parents were renters, they're going to be renters. For people whose parents were owners, they're more likely going to be owners without too many questions or hesitation. I grew up with my grandparents and they owned a two-family home. And when they passed away, I paid the last mortgage payment on that property, but then we had to sell it. So I'd say, like, I feel like I've been chasing that back, like my old home where I grew up. And I got a chance to meet another young man who was into real estate. And it took me some time to become an agent, but at least it sparked the interest in, oh, I can own property. Okay, well, I think I want to try this.
So who knows? There may be enough money in the kitty sometime soon, if it's not already there, to just write the check and say, whoever is there, we're going to buy that property back. We'll lease it to you, but when you move, we'd like to have it as a part of the museum, family museum.
Right, right. Every once in a while, I do drive by it just because I'm like, that's my old home. But yeah, I don't ever feel as if time was wasted or experiences were wasted. That two-family home literally was what I grew up in, and I couldn't see myself not owning a property and having the same opportunities as my grandparents gave me for my children.
Right. It's so interesting. You think about now about the legacy that you want to leave for your children, which includes real estate. And that's a big part of our discussion frequently here, and a big part of the world in general today. We talk about real estate as a source of wealth building, as a legacy tool, as a asset on which to shared hopes or dreams about what can be if it's done correctly. And it seems like so far you're on the right path, young lady. So let's talk more about real estate. And I know that you're connected to a wonderful agency, one of the finest in the city. And I like to sort of mention that sometimes, because at one point in time, the organization, I think, was number 37 out of over 500
Oh, wow.
agencies in the city. And it was a point in time when the opportunity to become a homeowner was challenged in many ways through the difficult times of the late 90s and late 80s, early 90s, and then on occasion since then. But the resilience of the neighborhoods is so good that regardless to how tough it gets, you're in a space and a place where you can always offer hope and opportunity to the others. So being in real estate is a wonderful place to be. And I know that you're working with one of the agencies that sponsors the program, CFS Realty. And how are you able now to help people with the vision or dream or plan? And I want to get back to the word plan later on, in terms of developing a legacy with real estate. Are you able to help them, and how are you able to help them? And how do they reach you in order to get help?
Yeah, for sure. So again, yes, I am literally a product of my environment, and I plant the seeds of generational wealth even into my children.
Mhm.
So as I have conversations with people who are interested in buying, or with people that might need to sell for any particular reason, my children in being homeowners, property owners, or increasing, whatever real estate you might already have these conversations around your young people, around your children, because what we don't want to encourage or continue to see happening is younger generations not valuing property, and older generations having to sell off the property to a developer that is giving them cash because family members are not prepared to be able to purchase, right? We
Yes.
don't want to see family members not taking care of property after the grandparent might have passed away and now it's a dilapidated piece of property and they're selling it for chips because they haven't taken care of it and they're not selling it at market rate value. There's so many opportunities out there, and there are people that look like those homeowners that don't want to keep property that do want properties. So really being able to match up buyers with people in the community that are looking to sell or that don't want to be responsible for a aired piece of property, really being able to match up those people, really being able to take someone who is maybe 18 years old and setting them up for a 12-month or 24-month process to home ownership. So they might be 18 now, but by the time you're 20, you can buy that piece of property. And I think that's important, especially when you might have grandparents that own property and they want to downsize. And how do we prepare the next line of generational wealth to say, hey, mom, hey, dad, or hey, grandma, hey, grandpa, I'm not waiting for you to pass away to heir this property to me. I have a pre-approval. I'm going to buy this property from you. And now I am filling back into my older generation and I am getting generational wealth because you're probably getting a discounted price on that purchase anyway. So really trying to help people understand the value of understanding financial education for generational wealth through home ownership.
Now, a very good point in terms of the generational wealth and the ability to prep a person for that obligation, that opportunity, I should say. Now, as you talk about preparing, so I'll take a moment here and I'll do a quick necessary message to folks. Now, we try in this space to bring you information from both sides. Those that are looking to sell, those that are interested in saving their homes, and those that are looking to buy. If you're looking to sell, please reach out to Brit. Brit, how would the person reach out to you, by phone or email?
I am most easily contacted. You can call me directly, feel free. I don't give out my personal number to everybody, but Mr. Phipps is special and so is his audience. So my number is 857-445-9260. Feel free to send me a voicemail. Feel free to send me a text message. I'm one of those millennials, so I'm quick with texting. And if you need to email, feel free to. You can catch me at bossladynews@gmail.com. You can find me on all social medias as Boss Lady News also, and send me a message if you have any questions. We can schedule a one-on-one to go over things. Again, bossladynews@gmail. Any platform, Boss Lady News, and feel free to send me a text message.
Is that BOSS or BOS?
Double S, BOSS, boss.
Okay, so bossladynews@gmail.com is how you reach her, or by the cell phone number she made, and we appreciate you sharing your number with our audience. The other side of the equation is those that want to buy. If you want to buy, you can also reach out to Brit at Boss Lady News.
Yes, for sure.
Go ahead. You were saying something?
Yes. And again, the telephone number is 857-445-9260. I will help you if you're interested in buying and you've got some hesitation, you're concerned about a credit pull. Listen, if you have a cell phone, they pulled your credit. If you have a car, they pulled your credit. If you have a credit card, they pulled your credit. Pulling your credit to gain an asset is actually recognized different with the credit bureaus, because you're not getting your credit pulled for additional debt. You're getting your credit pulled for an asset. Property is considered an asset. So this is one credit pull you want to get. And not only do you want to get this credit pull for a pre-approval, you want to get the credit pulled, you want to get your pre-approval, because it's almost like a cheat sheet. If you want to increase your credit, the credit pre-approval, the lender's going to tell you what you need to do on your credit report, how much to pay down, how much points you need to get a better pre-approval. They'll tell you how much more money you need to save, how much more time you might want to take before you purchase. But if you don't get that pre-approval and you're still trying, oh, I'm working on my credit, what exactly are you doing? Why aren't you having a professional go through your credit, tell you what needs to be done, how it needs to be done? Or we can set you up with a financial specialist that will hold your hand, maybe address some of the issues that are on your credit report. But you don't have to do this alone. And you don't need to do it alone. All you ladies out there, y'all don't do your nails by yourself anymore. You go to a professional to get your nails done. You don't do your eyebrow. Guys, you might shave in the house, but you know that clean cut shave happens from a professional. So when you're trying to buy property, why aren't you talking with a professional about that?
Very good point. And which brings me to my third item. Brit just mentioned a number of reasons why you should work with a professional. And there are some professionals called housing counselors that supplement the information provided by your mortgage person, your real estate person. And they help you without any influence on the transaction, because they're neutral parties. They're neither paid by the, they're not paid by either party to help with the transaction, but they're HUD housing counselors. U.S. Department of HUD and Urban Development has created a legion of professional counselors, and you can find them online as housing counselors. But I speak for a specific agency, which is NID Housing Counseling. Now, as a housing counselor, they cannot engage in real estate with a client that they counsel, and neither can a real estate agent referring for counseling continue to serve a person that's counseled by somebody he or she is affiliated with. That's a conflict of interest. So if you use a housing counselor, it should be a person that's unencumbered by relationships that would create a conflict of interest.
Right.
These individuals help you with all the things that Brit mentioned earlier, and they do so without any cost to you, generally speaking. However, there's another group of specialists in this group, which I'm going to refer to now. And if you are in danger of foreclosure, and there are over 300 people in the city of Boston, there's, I know the numbers for a lot of cities, but that would be pointless to repeat them. But the bottom line is, if you are in danger of foreclosure, you should reach out. There's a national organization. I don't remember the 100 number now, but I know that the national number for them is 1-510-268-9792. That's 1-510-268-9792. And that's N Nancy, I India, D David Housing Counseling Agency, NID Housing Counseling Agency. It's a national agency with counselors all across the US. And you can look them up on the HUD website, hud.gov, or local information resources should have them available for you as well. And those individuals will help you, and then you will be able to return, after getting your assistance, to the real estate agent or mortgage provider you started working with no conflict of interest. So I just want to make sure that you had that information. You have all the resources available to you in the housing arena in the event of your desire to sell, your desire to buy. Brit is your person. Your desire to receive some counseling, some protection from foreclosure, NID Housing Counseling Agency would be your outreach entity. And I wish you well whenever you need either one of those resources to be able to attain that assistance you need. Now, Brit, we're coming down to the home stretch, and I wanted to give you the opportunity to sort of provide, any direction you would share, any suggestions you would share, whether it's on the business entrepreneurship side, or whether it's on the home ownership, home acquisition side, or investment side, to individuals in our audience, that might give them an insight as to why you've become so successful at what you do, and share that with them, because you've also mentioned that you could be their mentor. And I would love
Right.
to see them reach out to you as a mentor.
Yes, absolutely. And just to briefly piggyback on the process of foreclosure, there are so many people out there that feel like they want to fight to keep the place. And okay, so this kind of, it plays with foreclosure, it plays with sales, it plays with buying. All right.
Mhm.
Property ownership is a business. It is a business. So if you have an entrepreneurial mind, you might want to consider also being a property owner, because it is a business. There is value in owning the property. And yes, you get to live there with your family. You get to gain experiences, but understanding how to go from one piece of property to the next, right? If you own a piece of property and your property has increased in equity, but you're having trouble making your payments, your mortgage payments, why wouldn't you sell that property and prevent yourself from going into foreclosure, bad credit, and no money and no home? We don't want it. It's not a pressure to sell your property. It's really a pressure to understand that you can put yourself in a better situation. You really can. And we're here to help with that. You're not alone. We're here to advise you through a successful transaction where you will probably make money even though you have to move. You're just moving and creating new experience and a new piece of property. The business behind owning property is amazing, because you're able to not just own one piece of property based off of your strategy in purchasing, right? So any of the buyers out there, young buyers, even if you start with a condo and work your way up, or if you start with a multifamily and work your way down, property ownership is a business. There's equity that can be pulled out. There are things called a HELOC, a home equity line of credit, that can be used. And there's so many other opportunities. When you have good credit, when you own a piece of property, this makes you fundable. So let's say you are a home owner and you are a business owner. Now you have leverage to gain additional loans, or higher loans, or better interest rates on loans from banks. So really looking at property ownership from multiple perspectives, right? Yes, it is a place where you can grow, you can raise your family, you can build, and then you move on. Life is a process of maturing and evolution, and so should home ownership.
I'm pleased to hear you share that concept, because many people believe that the bank should allow them to live there, although they can't make the monthly payment obligation. And, I want you to know that if you're in that situation, please seek help, because believing that the bank is going to allow you to live there indefinitely without a payment obligation is not necessarily how banks think. If they're not getting money from you, they want the asset that secures the money. So please, please don't let it get to a point where you're under eviction. If you know you're delinquent 30, 60, 90, 120 days, reach out and get some help. There may be resources available to help you bring your mortgage current, or there may be alternatives that Brit and others can share with you to give you an easy landing. Like you said, if you don't have money to pay the mortgage, there's only a certain length of time before you will have to give up the property. Some people have lasted for years, some people have lasted for months. But the bottom line is, we want you to feel comfortable. We want you to be in a safe, comfortable, stable place. And working with Brit or working with a housing counselor will enable that process. So you don't have to lose your home. But if you're going to have to give it up, at least, as Brit says, get some benefit from it. Don't fight till the bitter end and wind up with nothing because now your property is foreclosed and you're getting evicted. Not a good scene at all. And we want you, if you're part of the audience today, right now, please to send a text message to 702-337-2875. And whether it's Spanish or English, as you follow this program, if you would like the gift that we're going to send you in Spanish, just write money Spanish. And if you would like it in English, just write money English. So text the word money Spanish to receive it in Spanish. The book with the blueprint for your financial basics, and we'll roll you over to one of the experts like Brit after you get over the basics. And if you want that in Spanish, please, in English, please text the word money English to 702-337-2875. Again, text the word money and the language you would want the book in to 702-337-2875. They will send it out in short order to you. You'll have the benefit of reading and experiencing some of the things that Brit and others in the arena of finance have encouraged you to explore, but more specifically, reaching back to Brit for her personal guidance. I'm sure she makes those arrangements for you, whether it's in real estate or in entrepreneurship. And Brit, we're so happy to have had you with us tonight. Thanks for taking the time out to come and share with our audience the things you do and how you may be able to help them, because our world is about helping others. We're in the service of humanity, because that's how we succeed. I remember many years ago, I leave with this, a gentleman, Zig Ziglar, a minister out of Dallas, Texas, I used to say, you can get all that you want if you help enough other people to get what they want. And I like to think that we can help others to get what they want, especially with you as a part of this advisory audience that we elect or select to share experiences with others. Again, thanks for being with us. You're wonderful, Brit. Thanks for sharing with our community your skills and talents. Any closing words?
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you to the audience for taking the time and sticking in there and listening. And please don't hesitate to reach out. My number is 857-445-9260. Also, bossladynews@gmail.com. Send me your questions. We're here about debunking any of the myths that you might hear. You know, things have changed from the past. There are people that own property and they try to give advice, but times have changed and regulations have changed, and we're here to be your professionals through this process. It's a journey and it can be fun. It can be nerve-wracking, but what you get on the end is well worth it.
And professionals like you put the fun in it and take the racking of the nerves out of the process, because it's right beside them. All right, please reach out to Brit for help with anything you need. And you can find us at NAREBregion1.com on Facebook, and all the resources. Please check us out, like us. You know how that goes. If you tell a friend, then that friend may want to get the benefit of the information shared. So please share us with all of your friends. We look forward to seeing you on Tuesday night again. Tuesdays and Fridays, we're here at 9, and we look forward to seing you when we're here with you.